Got Swalla in the house.
What's up, Swallow? There's a
G'day, guys. How you
24-hour
going?
sun in Antarctica, man.
Sorry, say what was that?
I said there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, man. What's up?
Yeah, yeah, there is. It's pretty wild seeing all the live streams. Yeah, look, I'll keep it positive. I've got to say, I'm really actually very proud of Whitsett and Jaron and Elizabeth and stuff getting down there and seeing it all. And yeah, I'm hoping they're not getting sunburned because they're starting to look a bit red. But yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. They said they had a lot of pretty different temperature readings in different areas.
Oh, yeah, something I heard something about like when midnight came, it sort of dropped a little bit lower than what it was during the peak. And I mean, I think that makes sense personally because of the attack angle. But yeah, it's all good data points. So I mean, I look forward to even munching over some of the data points myself when they get back and release it. So, but I'm really proud. I'm happy that they've done it, and yeah, it can move the question forward. So yeah.
It definitely moves the question forward, man. Have you heard of this guy named Joe Hamby?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos. I don't approve of his theories on that big plastic dome that he has.
Hey, well, I mean, what about his 24-hour sun observation? What do you think about that?
Well, when you say that, you do realize that that's pretty much what flat earthers think. That's the depiction up there, right? So that's why he's using that dome.
Yeah, I get it.
All right.
I get it, but I mean, you know, I invite him to come to Australia. When you come down under, you just understand that, it's not mirrors. And like it's almost like a. I think some of his things sometimes is like he questions as to whether it's a mirror reflection of the northern stars or something like that. And I mean, we don't really see the northern stars particularly down here. So we've got a whole fresh set of stars. So it's not a reflection of anything. So.
So it made me do a runaround, but I finally found a document and I put the link in there, shared it, but I don't understand how to read it.
Was that supposed to be to me? I didn't really understand what that guy just said just then.
What did he say? Who was it? I missed it.
Yeah, I don't really know what it was. Something about a handbook, but I didn't know what handbook he was talking
No, I
about.
think he was talking about something earlier, and he was just speaking out
Okay.
in general.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, my bad. So yeah, I tried to post a image with the CIA document number, and I couldn't find it. But I did a runaround and somehow found this thing. So I posted the link to it. But I just downloaded the PDF file. I'm gonna go look into it and see if I can find anything in there.
Surely what this experiment has sort of shown is that, getting fresh data instead of digging through old archives is a much better pathway forward. I encourage everyone to go out there and do their own experiments from wherever their town is or whatever, and find what's interesting. Digging into things from 50 years ago, which has been declassified or whatever, is I don't know. Doesn't really sound like a smart pathway forward.
I agree with you. I'm just trying to figure out what they meant by pseudo sun.
Yeah, did you hear about that? What a pseudosun is? They have like documents in the CIA called a pseudosun. Well,
No, I haven't heard of that one. Sorry.
those are the documents that Top Noticer was talking about. when you asked if he was talking to you, he was just talking in general. But that's what he's talking about. Is the CIA is talking about there's a sun, and then they also have a pseudo sun.
And can you elaborate a bit more on that? What is the pseudo sun supposed to be? Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure most people in the chat would agree, we only see one sun. So what is the pseudo sun?
But that's why I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm looking in the document now.
Could be with that model that Joe Handley predicted up there.
Well, can I just repeat one of the things that Whitsitt said only about like 3 hours ago? He said as soon as he got off the airplane, he said he knew it was the real sun because it was like burning his skin straight away. He just knew it straight away. If it's a reflection, I don't think a reflection hurts. A reflection, I don't think would necessarily. I don't think a reflection would necessarily give you sunburn.
I mean, that's a cool observation. Did you hear about the temperature differences?
Well, actually, a reflection would absolutely give you sunburn. I mean, I've been in walking between two houses that are being lapped, and just the sunlight off of that bouncing off that whiteness is cooking me. But if you ever been like next to a high-rise building that's all glass or whatever, and you catch that sun and it bounces right at you, man, it feels like the real deal, man. So a reflection could give you the same exact thing. And plus, they're in Antarctica where it's all bouncing off the sun or the ice all over the place. I mean, which is weird too that none of the ice is melting, but it's too cold to melt. But it's weird. But yeah, you can get you can get sunburned from a reflection. You can get
Fine. While I agree, if you have a mirror or if you have like a big white wall or something like that, yeah, you might get a reflection that might give some element of it. But we're talking about the dome here, which is more than 6,000 kilometers or 3,000 miles away or like that. So I don't know if a reflection from 3,000 miles away would do the same thing.
Who says it's 3,000 miles away?
Look, I'm just plugging at your numbers. So
I never gave those numbers.
No, I get it. Like people want something to desperately be there, and as a truther, we're just taking the data of information. We're trying to think of some things to take measurements on, and then compare them to what the globe should predict. Right? Like, don't you think if they're at 80 degrees south, Swallow, don't you think based off of their observations, if they look at the sun in the north, it should be 33.4 degrees in the sky? And when the sun is in the south, it should be 13.4 degrees.
Look, a lot of it's based on where you're actually positioned. It all depends on your latitude.
80 degrees south.
Yeah, they're at 80 degrees south. They
Right.
have the angle, and
So
you've
if
got to
they're
figure out
looking
where
at the
your
sun,
latitude is.
if they're looking at the sun in the south, right? Because
Mhm.
if they're looking at it to the south, the sun should be lower because they're not quite at 90, right?
The 30 degree was at the high side, and like the 15 degree or
Right.
whatever is at the low side.
Right. The 30
Um,
degrees should be in the north.
Yeah, so if they're roughly, underneath the sort of the New York line, let's say it's a New York line. I don't 100% know, right? But if they're roughly under New York, you should be able to, compute the 80 degree position and the
Why do
30
we need
degree.
forget New York? It's just 80 degrees from the fucking polar south.
Yes, that's right.
If I'm at 90 degrees south, when I'm at the winter solstice or
Yes.
their y'all summer solstice, I
Yes.
should see the sun circling me for 24 hours at 23.4 degrees in the sky for an entire
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. So
Right.
it
So if
depends
I'm
on the
at
date,
80 degrees
but if you're
south, when I look north, the sun should be 33.4 degrees in the north And when I look in the south, the sun should be 13.4 degrees in the south.
Yes, if they went down to the South Pole, it would be
It's simple
closer
math.
to the 23.
It's simple math. It's 10.
Who's this
You're
British
10.
lad? Who's the British lad talking?
Hold on, Top. It's not British. He's Australian. It's Swallow.
Yes.
If I'm 10 degrees off from polar south, when I look south, the sun should be 10 degrees lower than what polar south would predict, which instead of 23.4, it should be 13.4. And when I look north, the sun should be 33.4 or 10 degrees higher than polar south, right?
Yep, 100% agree, but they're not
Awesome.
100% at sheepdog. They're not exactly at solstice. Solstice is in about a week and a half, so we just got to consider that.
Okay, cool.
But your numbers, I 100% agree. I 100% agree with your numbers. So it's roughly I don't know what angle they're obviously going to get. It's probably going to be 31. Who knows? But whatever the result is, it'll be interesting. But I 100% agree with your assessment.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be like 5 degrees off. I think it would be like 2 degrees off at the most. Pretty damn close to the solstice. And the solstice is roughly like 3 to 4 days.
Aren't they going to be for that? Aren't they going to be there for that anyway?
No, today is the 15th. The solstice is on the 21st.